and we're already talking about them. So let's get to the next topic here. And that is the new addition to LSU's staff. Lance Guidry, former Miami defensive coordinator the last couple seasons, was previously the defensive coordinator and head coach at McNeese State. And then directly before Miami was the defensive coordinator at Marshall, did a really good job there with, not the most talent in the world. His first year at Miami, it was a pretty solid showing, as people who cover the team. We have our website canesinsight.com, so we followed this situation closely with Guidry. This year was nothing short of a disaster. The defensive side of the ball was the reason why Miami did not go farther this season, did not make the playoff. But at the end of the day, if you're Guidry, you land on your feet back home in Louisiana at LSU, and you can kind of rebuild yourself there.
Yeah, and the report from Football Scoop is that he'll be an analyst, so he's not going to be coaching a position necessarily. He'll be collecting his buyout and serving as an analyst, as so many defensive coordinators, head coaches have done at the SEC level. Guidry's somebody, it's funny. So last year, this time, Miami fans were worried that he might leave to LSU and get the job that Blake Baker got. So it changed very quickly. Last year, 48th in scoring defense with the Miami Hurricanes, 24.1 points per game. Dropped to 70th this year, 26.7 points per game. He had the number one offense in the country as well. So that's why Guidry came under such fire to have the number one overall offense in America and not make the playoff. Obviously, a lot of that fault fell on the defensive side of the ball. I think with him, very much the loss of talent in the secondary. He wasn't able to adjust. That was a position Miami did not do a very good job of recruiting, whether it was in high school or the portal. So Guidry's someone who likes to play a lot of man coverage. He's a safeties coach, or he was a safeties coach for Miami. So when that talent dropped off, you have Cam Kitchens, who's now starting for the Los Angeles Rams, leaving the secondary. You really struggled to replace your cornerbacks. He just couldn't adjust to what Cam Kitchens did from a communication standpoint, couldn't adjust to having corners that were unable to play man coverage, which he would rather do consistently and effectively. So because of that, you had communication issues. Before the snap, it was often, a circus, and you couldn't stop the pass. Syracuse, when they knocked Miami out of the playoff, did whatever they wanted in the passing game. But Guidry, as a coach, known for having a very good mind, seeing things in opposing offenses, was a hot name just last year. At Marshall, beat Notre Dame, really had Marshall playing very good football. But he is a Louisiana native. He is from Welsh, Louisiana, played at McNeese State, coached at McNeese State, bounced around, had situations just kind of off the field with DUIs that maybe hurt his ability to progress as a coach. Got a second chance with Marshall, turned that into an opportunity with Miami. I think for what he will do at LSU as an analyst, he is going to add value. He knows the program. He knows the area. And he's a good communicator, well-liked guy. I could see this being a fit for him. And maybe he earns his way once the contract runs out with the Hurricanes. They're still paying him to an on-field role. He's not that, old that he can't be a position coach. He's got a lot of energy. He's only 53 years old. So to me, this is a good move to get somebody in your program that fits your program and has seen a lot of things and could add a trusted voice to the room.
Yeah, you said it best. I think he's a guy who has a lot of good ideas. And it wasn't just the struggling that he lost a couple safeties at Miami in terms of what they brought on the field, but those were the quarterbacks for the defense. He trusted them to kind of get everyone lined up. And, based on what I heard, he didn't have, he tried to put some of that responsibility on other spots, and the communication at Miami, as you saw, if you watch any Miami games this year pre-snap, it wasn't good. But again, that's not to say he can't play a valuable role on this LSU staff and bring certain things to the table. You remember a couple seasons ago, his first year at Miami, the Canes had a lot of depth issues on the interior defensive line. He was forced to kind of play a 3-3-5, something that he wasn't used to. He found some success there. So he's a creative defensive mind, but getting those ideas to work on the field consistently, that's, a whole nother thing.
Yeah, he's someone also has head coaching experience at McNeese State, so he's another head coach in the room. Loves to play games with the defensive line. We'll see how much input he has on that part of the game with Blake Baker and LSU. But Blake Baker's another one who was a defensive coordinator in Miami. So you really have two former Miami defensive coordinators in the same building. They didn't overlap. So there's no connection there, but it's guys we've seen firsthand, Pete. I think both of them like to make plays in the backfield, like to get behind the line of scrimmage and have tackles for loss. They're more about attack. Every defensive coordinator says they're about being aggressive. I think these are two guys who they measure their success by plays in the backfield, by aggression, by being athletic and getting on the other side of the line of scrimmage, as opposed to two-gapping, just being more fundamental is the wrong word, just being more sound and consistent as opposed to making plays. They're going to lean more on the playmaking side. And then with LSU's defensive personnel, you talk about guys like Patrick Payton, guys like Perkins, really athletic players. They fit what Blake Baker likes to do historically and what Guidry likes to do.
Without a doubt.